Hello, everybody. I'm Carmel Stavely. I am the VP of Community for the Labyrinth Society. And today we have a couple of short programs that we hope will inspire you. I have Dr. Liz Phillips and I have arts educator Maia Scott with us today. We've put together two really short video sessions. This first one is called From Analog to AI, Labyrinths Through the Blind Experience. And what we're trying to do here is just to give you some short training videos that you can share with others and that you can resource easily. So in this first part, we're going to be talking about new technologies and some tried and true technologies that make a difference for the sight impaired. And if you listen closely, will make a difference to the way you either build or put together your Labyrinth programs. So what I'd like to do before we jump into our conversation is just tell you a little bit about who's with us today. Educator and Labyrinth facilitator Maia Scott is an artist and an art educator. She's an activist who approaches work and life through the lens of curiosity, compassion, and creativity. She teaches accessible art, theater, and movement with the City College of San Francisco. She offers workshops throughout the Bay Area, works as a collaborating artist for local museums, and she consults on audio description for Gravity Access. Maia's wonderful dog, Gleam, travels with her wherever she goes. And we're surprised that Gleam's not in the picture today.
She's here. She's just out of the camera range.
Yeah.
So she's with us.
Well, thank you for saying hello to everyone, Maia.
Hi.
Good that you're here with us today. Dr. Phillips, say hello to everybody, and I'll tell everyone a little bit about you too.
Hey, Carmel. It's really wonderful to be here, and I'm excited about being a part of this video today.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Phillips is the founder of Access Braille Consulting. She calls it ABC. This is a company dedicated to making cultural and educational spaces accessible for blind and low vision individuals. She established it in 2022. ABC focuses on providing expert solutions in Braille production, accessible programming, and consultation for nonprofit organizations, for museums, and for libraries. Liz has a PhD from the University of Arizona in philosophy and an undergraduate degree from Stanford University. In addition to her Braille business, Liz works with the Talking Books and Braille Center at the San Francisco Public Library. Beyond her personal life, Liz is a creative spirit, a spiritual seeker, deeply connected to nature, and loves the labyrinth. So welcome, ladies, and welcome, everyone. Let's just jump right into this. Today's technology continues to level the playing field for the blind and blind impaired. So we're going to jump right into that. I have a couple questions that I want to ask you, ladies. The first one that's on my mind is, what are some of the new AI tools that you're using? Maia or Liz, either one of you jump in.
I can jump in. I have been using a lot of AI tools, especially now that large language models like ChatGPT have come out. Gemini, Google's Gemini is really accessible for people who are blind. Envision has an AI large language model called Envision Ally, which is really helpful. So a lot of mainstream AI is available for people who are blind and low vision to use as an app on their phone or on a website. But there's also AI tools that are specific to people who are blind or low vision that are now available. So there's Seeing AI, which allows you to recognize faces, describe videos and pictures, um, be able to find objects, and even do some navigation. There's Be My Eyes, which is a volunteer-based visual interpretation service, and there is also IRA, which is another vetted volunteer, or not volunteer, it's a vetted not volunteer-based visual interpretation service, and they both have AI components and allow you to ask an AI further questions for follow-up when describing pictures. So it's a really exciting field
That's
for us.
quite interesting. Well, thank you for those mentions of some of this new AI. Now, Maya, I want to ask you something. How would someone like me, who probably doesn't know some of these tools, how would we, first of all, get our hands on them so that we could know about it a little bit more and maybe incorporate them in the way we communicate with the blind community? And the other thing is, what gadgets has AI sort of replaced?
Ooh, fun stuff. First of all, you can always ask your favorite AI tool about best AI tools for blind people, because I'm sure it'll have some answers and allow invite access to some websites such as American Foundation for the Blind and ACB, American Council of the Blind, and National Federation for the Blind. A lot of them have lists and whatnot. You can always also just hit your uh, um, store for whatever device that you use and type in keywords. Pretty easy to find just by well, Google Gemini will give you a whole list. That's how I learn about a lot of things these days. And as far as communicating with the blind community, we use the same devices and tools as everyone else because the technology that we rely on, which is either magnification or a screen reader, is available on pretty much every phone that comes out right now. Anybody can, blind or not, can take it out of the box and set it up, which is pretty cathartic to me after many years of relying on sighted intervention. And I think there was another part to that question, but I don't remember it.
Well, we'll get on to that in this next question that I've got boiling in the back of my mind. Thank you for letting us know it's as simple as us asking, AI ourselves. And I will tell the audience that Maya and Liz have graciously put together a page of resources that will accompany this recording. So you'll have all of those resources at your fingertips too.
But didn't use AI for it.
There you have it.
We put them together without talking to AI to
Yes.
This is human generated.
Yay. Yay. Well, listen, cell phones, I mean, they're not AI and they're not anything new within the last 20 some years, but things have changed a lot with iPhones. And I think this is where iPhones have become like more of a companion for you and does replace some of the old, I'm going to say technology, I'm going to say gadgets that you used to carry around. So Maya, I'm going to ask you that question, if you could let us know.
Yes. Just like your average person, we too can't live with them, can't live without them. Our phones are integral to our lives for communication, information gathering, and all the usual things, in addition to counting on them for wayfinding, image descriptions, connecting to smart glasses, and so forth. So, when just a little aside, when I was younger, I had this giant backpack full of gadgets, and including talking calculator, talking compass, all these different things, graphics tools, whatnot. All these things I can carry on my phone now. So all the things that I used to need a backpack for, I can just slip into my hip pocket.
Oh, that's really great that things have boiled down to just a cell phone. I mean, just like us too.
Yeah,
So many of
I
the
just wanted to jump in really quick and say, Android phones can also have accessibility as well.
Yeah.
So
okay.
iPhones have VoiceOver, which is built in, and Android phones have TalkBack, and both are built-in screen readers. And there's also zoom and contrast features available on both kinds of phones. So people with low vision can use them as well. And that's all built into the accessibility out of the box for a phone. And again,
Ah,
there's apps that are specific to people who are blind, such as Voice Vista, which allows a person to hear in binaural audio what's around them to help and announces intersections so they can travel easily. There's all the AI apps that we mentioned, and then there's things like um, Dolphin Easy Reader and other kinds of apps that allow you to read talking books. And we
so
also use a lot of the same standard apps that other people use, music apps, podcasting. Uh, there's even accessible games.
so
So,
Liz, let me ask you something.
yeah,
A screen reader, it's basically giving you an audio read of what's on the screen. Is that correct?
that's correct. So it
Yeah, good.
reads everything that's on the screen. Anything that your finger touches on the phone or on a computer, there's
I
also
gotta
screen
tell you,
readers.
I'd like to have one of them. you know so it's like an audio book instead of reading a paperback or something. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, you don't have to use a mouse at all. Everything is keyboard access. On a computer, the screen reader is usually called JAWS. There's JAWS, there's NVDA, which stands for non-visual digital access, and then there's a program called ZoomText, which allows people with low vision to use their computer as well. So, um,
So we'll have
yeah.
some of these resources on the resource page that we're putting together. Let's move on to the next question, and I would like both of you ladies to talk into this one. It has to do with accessible websites. I know that some websites are easier for you to navigate than others. Tell me your pros and cons. Tell me what you love about good design and what you hate about, poorly designed websites. And I'm going to ask Maia to go ahead and start this answer off.
This is great. I'm going to take on the low vision aspects and leave the no vision elements to Liz. So just some simple things for someone like myself with a little bit of functional sight. There are some factors that really help to make a website accessible that are just simple design factors, such as contrast. Having things about 80% contrast is really great. So that sweet gray on pink that you think is so soft and soothing for your peaceful labyrinth experience is going to turn my eyeballs into cubes and make it not accessible. Similarly, when I'm panning through a page, I'm looking at like 1/25th of the screen at a time. So if you write justify things, I might not find them. If you have
Hmm.
forms that to fill out that have like gray on white boxes, I might not see to fill them in. Using high contrast fonts, landmarks are great if there's a line or if there's blocks of color that are easy to find that help locate menus or the edge of your page. So basically designing boldly. You can still use those sweet, soft colors, but integrate them with more contrast. And a lot of web building tools these days have accessibility checkers for the things I'm talking about, as well as the stuff that Liz is going to reference.
So what you just said is a webmaster or designer could go into their programs and see what accessible tips their program itself is telling them to do, or
Yeah.
yeah. So that's great. And I'm was never aware of that before. It makes perfect sense that would be accessible to webmasters and designers. So, Dr. Phillips, fill in the rest of the blank for us.
Sure. So for someone who with no vision like myself, the things that I'm going to be relying on are accessibility tools and that a screen reader is basically if I could use a screen reader and a keyboard without a mouse, it's going to be like that's how I get around. So headings are really important. Having headings on a first level heading on the page and only one first level heading on the page is very important. And then making sure that your headings are in sequential order. So making sure that if you need a heading level 2 or a heading level 3, you don't start out with a heading level 3 and then go into heading level 2s later. That's really important. Imagine if you are having to listen to your website. You don't want to have to hear line by line everything on the page. You need a way to jump around the page quickly so you have an efficient way of navigating. And so that's what headings can do. The other thing that's really important is making sure that your links are properly labeled with alt text, and your images are properly labeled. So any kind of image that isn't just a decorative image on your page, having a description on there that a screen reader can read is really important. Labeling buttons, links, and checkboxes and other boxes on your form correctly with proper HTML is also really important. So that a screen reader can read out exactly what you're supposed to put into that form to fill it out correctly.
So it sounds like, Dr. Phillips, it's important for the screen reader and the design of the website to be compatible.
Yeah, and so to do that, you need to have properly labeled links and buttons, and also make sure that those labels are relevant to the context on your page. So just click here or learn more doesn't give a blind person any information about what that link is taking you to. So something like Labyrinth walk or important events would be a much better label.
So labeling is everything. Yeah, no shortcuts here. Yeah, good to know. So thank you for that. Now, we're going to switch gears here a little bit. We've talked about some new AI and some high-tech stuff. What about some of the day-to-day life tools that you still rely on? I'm going to go ahead and ask Dr. Liz to go ahead and talk about bump dots.
Yeah, okay, so I love bump dots. These are low-tech stickers. They come in multiple sizes. They come in multiple colors. I prefer the clear ones so that sighted people can still use appliances, but I use these little round dots. There's square ones, there's all kinds of shapes, and you can put them on microwaves, stoves, anything that has a touch screen, and that allows you to navigate it by yourself. There's also now specific shapes that you can use that do that as well. So, a little water droplet on your microwave.
Are the bump dots like reading Braille?
No, they're not like reading Braille. They specifically are kind of rubberized dots that just allow you to feel around an appliance by touch and navigate it. Braille labels are also really important for people who can read Braille. I use those a lot. I having a guide dog or a white cane. Those are essential for people who are blind and visually impaired for travel. And there's lots of labeling systems that are either no tech or low tech that we use to label clothing or to label food items. So there's all kinds of things out there that we use and that are really helpful to us.
I just love that idea. I could see where that could help even little children to know what I don't know what a toaster is or a hot stove is or what the refrigerator is or something like that. That's kind of cool. So Maya, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit more about what day-to-day tools that you rely on? One thing that we talked about was the blackboard.
Oh, the sensational blackboard. That's a wonderful tool devised by an artist, an ally for the blind community, which is basically a silicone covered piece of plastic that you can lay a piece of paper on and use a ballpoint pen to create tactile graphics. Um, if you have a silicone mat amidst your craft supplies or your baking tools, you can also kind of do something very similar with that. Same with screen materials. Basically, I would just love to say if you're a crafter or baker or collect fun duct tape or whatnot, you probably have a good start on a tactile graphics kind of uh, easy marking, accessible toolkit, so to speak. I've used bits of duct tape to mark where something is on, a device or a big stapler, so I know how to line things up. Or I've used wiki sticks, which are basically wax covered string to create graphics that I want to have a look at, or to cover a labyrinth to share with a friend who or student who would like to try it eyes free, whether they can see or not. And a
Right.
lot of these fun things are things that we already can get at your local craft store or on your favorite website, or repurpose from a local school or library. And so you don't always need to get the special expensive thing that is
Well,
harder to
that's good.
find.
That's good to know, Maya. Now, what about some other tried and true things like signs and descriptions and guide dogs and canes? Talk to me about that.
Well, so says the lady here with the golden retriever under the table. Guide dog is an amazing tool. I like to say that guide dogs help us avoid things and canes help us find things. So it depends on the kind of way you want to navigate the world, which is really beautiful. Signage is a challenge. It's often a very visual thing, and if we don't know that haptic signage is there, we probably won't expect it or look for it. So, my favorite signage is a human, someone that I can just simply ask where something is. And I'll tell you, over there is a very big place. And that way, I'm still trying to figure out where that is. So, just basic language is fantastic. As far as wayfinding in a place, instead of signs like Labyrinth that way, if you put it on your website saying, once you're in the parking lot, if you go down the path, off to the left for about 30 yards, you'll find us, or something to
Right,
that
good
effect.
descriptions. And I
Yeah,
will tell you, it's like giving good direction. Some people
yeah,
are good at it and some people aren't.
indeed.
Like saying over there means nothing to me either. So that's interesting, Maya. That's great. Well, listen, ladies, we're coming to almost the end of our mini video here. I have one more question before we wrap up and go to part two. Um, and either one of you can talk into that. Let's go to Dr. Liz right now. So, Liz, in your final thoughts, how would one improve outreach to the blind community? Um,
I
just
really love that question because I think it's at the heart of all of an organization's mission and being able to meet people where they're at is so important. So being able to go out and talk to members of the blind and low vision community to see what we need and what would be good for us in terms of being able to participate in your programming and in your workshops, um, making sure your website is accessible for people who are blind and low vision, making sure you have descriptions on the websites for how to get to the labyrinth that aren't just visual based, or and we'll talk a little bit more about this in part 2, but making sure that when you have accessible labyrinth experiences, that those accessible experiences are designed for everyone, so that a blind or low vision person doesn't feel like there's a special accommodation being made just for them while other people have a separate experience. I think full inclusion is really important. And so, the more you talk to members of our community, the more we will feel a part of what you're doing, and we would love to join and walk a labyrinth with you. It's a really spiritual experience, and I'm just excited to see what you do with all this information and how you can include us in your future events.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Phillips. And Maya, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
Thank you. Yes. There are often organizations in communities, whether it's local senior centers, Lions clubs, programs and services that work specifically with the blind community. It's always great to go there, reach out to them, get stuff in their newsletters. And as Liz said, the big important part is the human connection. There's this great saying that I hear often within the disability community, not about us, without us. And I'm probably butchering it a little bit, but the essence is for any community that you are wanting to invite into your circle, quite literally or figuratively with the labyrinth, is to talk to that group, bring them in, give the group a vested interest in what you're creating, and we will talk and people will come.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Phillips and Maia Scott. And thank you for those who are with us on this audio recording today. You've just experienced part 1 from Analog to AI, Labyrinths Through the Blind Experience. Part 2 is coming up soon, and that is Building Accessibility and Inclusion into Labyrinth Experiences, Programming from the Ground Up. Until I see you again, I'm Carmel Stabley, your VP of Community for the Labyrinth Society. Thank you again.